Every time Hello Games updates No Man's Sky, it feels like they've carved out an entirely new game inside the old one. And with Remnant, they've done it again. This time, planets themselves now have active salvage and industrial zones, and these scrap worlds are littered with industrial waste, volatile containers, debris fields, hazardous materials, and instead of simply mining and moving on, you're actually collecting all of this, we're hauling it across rough terrain in heavy reworked Colossus exocraft and delivering it to waste processing plants to recycle it afterwards. In essence, you're loading cargo, managing risks, transporting unstable materials, processing what you recover, and what all of this means is that there's yet another addition separate from exploration. Feels very much like a new game edition in fact, and the reason this works, the reason it all feels so different, is because of the brand new multi-tool module, and this is called the gravitino coil. It's a gravity manipulation device that lets you physically grab, move and launch objects into the world around you. Now, Remnant Update 6.2 released on the 11th of February, that's today, and I want to be very clear about what Hello Games have done here, because it's very easy to glance at all of this and just think, well, that's a gravity tool, and then assume it's just a fun new toy, but it's not. There's something much more going on here, because the update itself is a combination of new physical interactions, new planetary loop, and a vehicle overhaul that really does give the exocraft a role that is much more than now driving from A to B. So what this update is really all about is a scrap hauling update. That's what it is. It's a new core gameplay loop, and it's something that on the surface is quite simple, and that is a good thing. You go to scrap worlds, you collect industrial waste including volatile variants like toxic, radioactive and explosive containers, you haul it using a reconfigurable Colossus, and you process it at waste processing plants for materials and rewards, and that's the game loop. You find, you load, you transport, and then you process. So if you've played No Man's Sky for any amount of time, and I'm sure a lot of you have, you'll know that a good loop is not about complexity, it's about clarity. It's about giving a reason to do something repeatedly without actually having that thing feel pointless. They did a very good job of this with the Voyagers update and the Corvettes, the new ships. Remnant is doing something similar, but this time it's built around planets. In essence, it's given you a very new reason to actually explore the planets and get involved in the activities down on those surfaces. So here's the thing, Hello Games are excellent when it comes to giving these surprises to the community. I'm always surprised myself. I think many of us are just kind of overwhelmed at the sheer number of updates that we get. And the subject of surprises, and by extension gifts, is very much the focus of the sponsor of today's video, Extra. If you're looking for a Valentine's gift that's actually useful and not just another last-minute cliche, this is a solid option. Now, I've been using Extra's Wallet Pro, a premium Italian leather smart wallet that keeps things slim whilst still holding up to 14 cards and cash. The metal trigger fans out your cards instantly and has a built-in RFID protection. And the upgraded leather and recycled aluminium build makes it feel like a real step up from the traditional wallets. Now, if leather isn't your thing, Extra also offers the same design in a sleek metal version. And for anyone who travels or just overpacks, the Travel Pack Vacuum Kit is another great gift idea. It's a carry-on sized travel compression bag with a separately available USB-C rechargeable pump that squeezes out the air, giving you up to 60% more space without upgrading your luggage. The bags are waterproof, odor-proof, and even double as a laundry bag at the end of the trip. Extra's Valentine's Day sale runs until the 25th of February with up to 45% off, and my code will get you extra savings of up to 54% off. Check out the links in the video description. So let's break down exactly what's going on with this Remnant update. First, we've got scrap worlds. So these worlds now have industrial waste in piles and heaps across the surface. The waste is the thing you're going to be interacting with. In essence, you're collecting it, and it's not all the same. Some of it is volatile, which means you're going to have to make choices about what you're carrying and how you're carrying it, as well as where you're taking it. Second is the waste processing plants. Now, these are new interactive sites. They're a part of the infrastructure loop for this new gameplay mechanic, and that is kind of important because No Man's Sky works best when the universe feels like it actually contains the system necessary for the gameplay loop you're involved with. So that means you're not taking your waste here to random areas, you're actually taking it to somewhere that's dedicated. And these plants are also where the hazard part of hazardous waste becomes very, very real, because these facilities support depositing and containing volatile waste, as well as extracting materials and the rewards you're going to get for cleaning all of this up. And that's the point. You're removing industrial debris from the planet, and the game is rewarding you for doing so. It's a neat framing device because it makes the act of resource acquisition feel like a part of the game world itself. It's not just something you do to feed your inventory, it's something that you're actually involved in here. The third layer is the Colossus overhaul. So this one is perhaps one of the most important parts of the Remnant update, and looking at the video clips here, I really like what they've done here with the spider-style structure to it, the spider-style movements. So essentially, the Colossus is now basically a modular hauling platform. You have new cabins, and those cabins have matching cockpit interiors. You also have paint finishes, you have running gear options including tracked treads, and you also have functional modules that exist for one reason: doing the hauling job better and better as you go. So the big one here is that this truck is a typical flatbed, and it's got a containment field on it as well. In essence, this is an industrial hauler, and it's very much about Hello Games taking you out of the ship and giving you some things to do down on the surface of the planet. Now, the vehicle also has a mountable furnace, and this gives you disposable or processing activities whilst travelling around. So as you can tell, Hello Games have gone all out here. Instead of giving you just basic parts that are cosmetic, fluff in nature, they've all got some intent here. The Colossus is very much a centerpiece. It's not an afterthought, it's a designing part that matches the structure of the new game loop. Talking of which, there's the Cyclops scope, and this allows you to use the analyst's visor whilst you're driving around. This is a pretty big quality of life change, and yeah, it also supports the waste loop because it allows you to identify where all the waste is whilst you're driving around without having to keep hopping in and out of the vehicle. Another thing is the excavation blade. This lets you collect small resources from obstacles that you destroy by colliding with them. So that might sound kind of minor, I guess, until you really think about this and realise what's actually going on here. You're turning driving into interaction, and that makes smashing up some of this scenery and gathering some of the materials a very different option indeed. And then of course there is the star of the show, the gravitino coil, and this is a major part of the update. It's actually holding much of it together, in fact. So the gravitino coil lets you pull, carry, arrange and launch physical objects. Think of it perhaps somewhat like the gravity gun in Half-Life 2, but with some other abilities as well. So this is where the toy plus the loop idea comes from in some of the coverage about the game, and yes, it's accurate, it is a toy, but it's also the key to interacting with the game itself, this new layer loop, this new waste processing aspect of No Man's Sky. And yeah, in case you're wondering, it can also be used in combat apparently. So you can grab and throw sentinel drones, you can weaponize heavy objects as projectiles, and this is important for a variety of different reasons, one of which is it gives you a new form of moment-to-moment gameplay. But secondly, it's also important because it's a tool that feels very much integrated into the game due to the ways it allows you to interact with everything. In fact, it's worth pointing out here that Hello Games seem to be saying that the gravity gun concept is something that they've wanted to do since the beginning of the game. I'm not saying that's a good thing in and of itself, I'm just saying that's perhaps why it feels like such a natural integration. Another thing going on here is the new Expedition, Extra Expedition 21. It's tied directly to the hauling loop, and it's available right now actually, and apparently will be available for around about 6 weeks. Now this one is interesting because right at the start you don't have a ship, instead you're locked down to a planet and you have to do a lot of activity revolving around the waste processing. The great thing in my view about these type of expeditions is they serve as the perfect introduction to these new gameplay mechanics. And of course there's plenty of rewards to go along with this, as there are with many of the other expeditions. So there we have it, another great update for No Man's Sky. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, I'd love to hear from you. Also, my thanks again to Extra for sponsoring this video. Do check out that link in the video description where you can find out everything you need to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.